A career at JRI is a really rewarding experience. You get to see firsthand the impact you can make in the students' lives.
My life has really changed in the last 2 years that I've been here at Walden. They made me realize that I should actually be happy and express my feelings the way I need to appropriately.
I struggled a lot before I came here, and I think that having staff to support me to learn who I am and have more confidence in myself has helped me to get very far. Mentally, they've helped me. Socially, they've helped me. So they impact my life a lot.
Something I didn't do before I got here was take college classes. So here I had the opportunity to take 2 classes at Middlesex online to help further my education for when I leave here.
I want to become a marine biologist and continue to do school and go to college.
Next step in my life, I would like to be more independent. My ultimate goal is to be living by myself and go to culinary school. After here, I will be able to reach any goal that I want.
As a deaf child, it really is helpful to them that we can offer them a vision of what their child's life is going to be like, a sense of relief for families when they don't know what the future holds for their child.
Their philosophy and mission aligns very well with our values. We try to be there to support them, be a financial partner, educate and advise them. Giving an individual an opportunity to succeed in life is a good feeling for us to have an impact like that.
Life can sneak up on you. It can have you going in every direction. And it rarely goes as planned, which is why it's nice to have a bank that keeps things simple, with simple ways to be prepared, simple ways to stay in control, and simple ways to keep up. Because life is complicated enough. People's Bank. Real, simple banking. If it makes your laugh a little louder and your smile a little bigger, if it makes your heart a little warmer, and it makes you want to dance like no one is watching, chances are it's something simple. So at People's Bank, we keep things real simple with simple ways to bank, simple ways to stay informed, and simple products for buying a home. Because the best things in life are real simple. People's Bank. Real, simple banking.
State Health, we are compelled to be a force for good. That compassionate, spirited, and steadfast drive has helped us be the difference for you and so many others within our diverse human family. Our cardiac patients experience care from one of the top heart programs in the nation. It's been the difference for families with ill or injured children with the region's only accredited full-service children's hospital. And it's made a critical impact when seconds matter, linking all area emergency departments with the only Level 1 trauma center in Western Massachusetts at Bay State Medical Center, recognized in the top 1% nationally as a 4-time consecutive Magnet Hospital for Nursing Excellence. Every day, in ways big and small, we are humbled and privileged that our impactful care helps you go on to make all the difference in your own world. Together, we have the capacity to transform lives.
On behalf of Springfield College, congratulations to the Martin Luther King Family Services Organization for its 5th annual Social Justice Awards program.
Everybody, it's State Senator Eric Lesser here, and I just want to thank the MLK Family Services for your 5th annual Social Justice Awards. And I do want to take a moment to remember the legacy of my friend, our hero, Ronn Johnson. I certainly hold him in my heart every day. I know all of us do. We certainly honor his legacy today by this convening. And I want to congratulate the very well-deserving award winners on a fantastic life of service that each of them have given to our community here in Western Mass, our broader state, and indeed the wider world. It is now more important than ever that we recommit ourselves to the tasks of Martin Luther King's legacy and the important, urgent work of fulfilling his dream here in Massachusetts and here in Western Mass. And it can't just be words, it has to be concrete actions and deeds, and it has to be changes to our laws. And I'm certainly committed to doing that. So I just want to thank everybody for today's convening, congratulate the very well-deserved award winners, and I'm very much looking forward to all being together, maybe back at Che Joseph, maybe back at MLK in the gym for a great session where we can all, again, be back together, hopefully as the virus numbers stay low. But thanks again so much, and congratulations again to the award winners for the inspiration you give all of us.
You could be a celebrity, living in a life of luxury, or you could bloom right where you stand, humbly and quietly. You could walk the red carpet with paparazzi swarming all around, or you could plant seeds in your own communities, willing and fertile ground. You could be a celebrity. You could spend summers in luxurious destinations with palm trees as far as the eye can see, or you can take stock of the beauty that we can find right on State Street. You could be a celebrity. That tiny screen that seems to mean so much is why many of us feel so out of touch. Instead of sitting across from each other knee to knee, we are too busy texting and taking selfies. You could be a celebrity. But I challenge you to reconnect with our roots with real conversation and spoken truths, real life hugs and heart to hearts, communicating with our minds, beginning where we start. Your community needs you, and you could be a celebrity, but God gave us each other. He made us whole and free, so I encourage you to join me to regain and rejoin our community. You could be a celebrity, or you could bloom right in your community.
A career at JRI is a really rewarding experience. You get to see firsthand the impact you can make in the students' lives.
My life has really changed in the last 2 years that I've been here at Walden. They made me realize that I should actually be happy and express my feelings the way I need to appropriately.
I struggled a lot before I came here, and I think that having staff to support me to learn who I am and have more confidence in myself has helped me to get very far. Mentally, they've helped me. Socially, they've helped me. So they impact my life a lot.
Something I didn't do before I got here was take college classes. So here I had the opportunity to take 2 classes at Middlesex online to help further my education for when I leave here.
I want to become a marine biologist and continue to do school and go to college.
Next step in my life, I would like to be more independent. My ultimate goal is to be living by myself and go to culinary school. After here, I will be able to reach any goal that I want.
As a deaf child, it really is helpful to them that we can offer them a vision of what their child's life is going to be like, a sense of relief for families when they don't know what the future holds for their child.
Their philosophy and mission aligns very well with our values. We try to be there to support them, be a financial partner, educate and advise them. Giving an individual an opportunity to succeed in life is a good feeling for us to have an impact like that.
Let us bow our heads for the invocation for this special occasion. Beloved and faithful one, in gratitude we say thank you for those who have helped to pave the way for us. For people like Ida B. Wells, Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., Alberta Williams King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Coretta Scott King, Congressman John Lewis, Reverend C.T. Vivian, and many more who valiantly fought for civil rights for others. They were individuals who endured violence but demonstrated what it meant to protest peacefully, consistently fighting for justice, and they were committed to honoring their calling. Thank you for the ways in which we benefit from their actions. For those who have fought and continue to advocate with fervor for the rights of women, the LGBTQIA community, the disabled, the immigrant, the homeless, and the impoverished, we say thank you. They have withstood the pain and degradation that comes with such advocacy and shown us what it means to have something worth advocating for. Thank you for the ways in which we benefit from their courage and resolve. For people like Ronn Johnson, who sacrificed his time and more to ensure that folks in this community and beyond would be served with care and grace. For his commitment to their social, mental, and physical needs, we say thank you. For those who fight fires on our behalf, literally and metaphorically, risking their very lives to save another, we say thank you for their selflessness, dedication, and care for even the stranger. For each of the honorees of the Social Justice Award who continue to pour from their reserve or to shine the light on inequities, we say thank you. All of these people and so many more responded to your calling that might have begun as a gentle nudge but ended in a push towards their purpose. They chose and are choosing not to turn around, but to walk towards purpose and power. Thank you for the ways in which we benefit from their commitment. May they be examples to us when we feel tired, overwhelmed, or dejected, when even the little things don't go as we plan. May they be models of ways to slay the dragons in our lives, to speak truth to power, and to run the race with grace and dignity. May we never give up on that which you call us to do, great or small. And may we always bask in the knowledge and joy that we are sustained by you. And so we invoke your name because it gives us strength to move forward. And we ask you to be present in this awards ceremony. For all of it, we say thank you. And so it is. Ashe and Amen.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart,
Good morning. My name is Calvin Hill, and I have the pleasure of serving as the chairperson of the Martin Luther King Jr. Family Services Board. On behalf of the board, the staff, and the Social Justice Awards Program Planning Committee, welcome to our 5th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Social Justice Awards Program. This year, we have chosen as our theme, What Are You Doing for Others? As such, over the next hour or so, we will recognize and honor those whose life work focused on doing for others. Doing so in the arts, education, health advocacy, economic development, race relations, entrepreneurship, and faith. We will also recognize an individual for their lifetime achievement. Additionally, as many of you all know, we lost my friend and our president and CEO, Ronn Johnson, this past January. Ronn was our drum major. He was our leader. He was dedicated not only to his family, but to this community and this organization. And for that, we will forever be grateful. He led us during some difficult times, but he never gave up hope related to what this community and this organization can be. In the next few minutes, I ask that you join us as we remember and honor our drum major, Ronn Johnson.
Greetings. This is Denise Marie Stewart. Today, we reflect on the measure of a man who was blessed to be a blessing, a devoted son, brother, husband, father, grandfather, and friend, Ronn Johnson. His purpose and passion was evident in his work, in his dedication to bettering the lives of those he encountered, and even in his smile. Ronn's approach to community engagement was to involve the community through education, empowerment, and innovation. He knew that the power of continuity comes from passing the torch of light to our young people without forgetting the strong foundation our elders and ancestors paved for us. He was a mentor and a man of God. Ronn was a leader with a helping hand and a listening ear. Whenever he spoke of MLK Family Services, you could feel his pride and admiration. Ronn fulfilled his commitment to his beloved community after decades of faithful service. Dr. King said, "The true measure of a man is not how he behaves in moments of comfort and convenience, but how he stands at times of controversy and challenges." Ronn considered it a calling and a privilege to be a voice for the voiceless, to work to improve the lives of others, and to serve those most in need of food, family support, and health care. Ronn leaves a legacy of hope that we will all continue to strive toward progress in our community. Ronn will forever be remembered for his charismatic leadership and determination to keep Dr. King's dream alive as we make positive steps toward social justice. He was genuinely devoted to serving people. A gentle voice, a kind heart, a caring soul. Ronn's life touched our lives and was a blessing to us all. Well done to our keeper of the dream. Well done.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for 1,000,000 years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I will never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind, but you've nothing like me, yeah. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you, to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
Good morning, this is Mayor Dominic Sarno. This morning we come together to not only honor the legacy and carry forth the vision of Dr. Martin Luther King, but we come together to honor our beloved friend, Ron Johnson. And today's theme is about what are you doing for others? All the award winners have done that and more in the spirit of not only Dr. King, but our pal Ron Johnson. Ron was always one would say to me, hey Don, why don't we try it this way? What more can we do to help out others or issues in need? Each and every one of our award winners have exemplified that. And I thank you for your continued and dedicated efforts to the city of Springfield and the human spirit. So again, congratulations, and I wish each and every one of you good health as we continue to move forward with not only the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., but also our beloved friend, Ron Johnson. God bless you all.
Good morning. It's an honor and a privilege and my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the great and general court. To the Social Justice Award winners, congratulations. And in memory of Ron Johnson, Sophie Jeffers, and the Barracuda, Raymond Jordan. Congratulations to all the award winners and you and your commitment to social justice, equity, civil rights, inclusion. The work goes on. Youth Trailblazers, we're so proud to have you and to honor you for your commitment and all the work that you've done over the years. Doesn't go unnoticed. We have made major steps in terms of including individuals. The first Supreme Court black justice, Justice Brown. We have work to do, a lot of accomplishments, but congratulations, job well done, keep the faith.
Now that I've gotten the commercial out of the way, I'll move on and say some things that I want to say very briefly. And I'm being very honest, I'm going to be brief.
My name is Lenice Williams. I am the Executive Assistant to the President and CEO and to the Board of Directors. I'm also the Office Manager to my MLK team. I'm the gatekeeper to my team and the rest of the MLK family.
I am the Vice President of Finance and Operations, and I oversee the daily running of the agency with the assistance of our Board of Directors.
My name is Patricia Brown, and I work as a program coordinator at Martin Luther King Jr. Family Services.
My name is Ariana Williams, and I'm the Director of Public Health.
My most rewarding that I find with my job is lending an ear to a person. They reach out to me by email, by phone, or come through the door. The stories that they have, I just sit and I listen.
The best part of my work is my fellow employees. We have a really good relationship, and they have stuck with the agency through the ups and downs, so that's the most rewarding part.
I hope that we can continue to keep reaching out to clients and their families, and just continue to keep helping them as much as we can.
Working with the youth is probably the most rewarding thing that I get out of working in public health at MLK. My work is heavily youth development focused, so all my youth initiatives are the most fulfilling, working with the next generation. It takes a village, and you know, Springfield, There's so much going on, but I would love for us to come together just a little bit more and for the youth to see, the older generation united and feel like they can do the same thing.
In the great words of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, we are all keepers of the dream. I have followed that philosophy in most of my adult life, and it really is a great pleasure of mine that I'm able to help others on a larger scale through my employment with the Martin Luther King Family Services.
Some of the people here have incredible stories and are struggling, and a lot of the people have been directed to MLK, and I feel that I'm the last person that they come in contact with, and I need to do my utmost to help them.
What's lacking for youth? Extracurricular activities. A lot of youth don't even know what an HBCU is in 2022. So bringing more activities and more experiences that will help them in their future.
I basically just go above and beyond and try to help them. A lot of the community reaches out to us for a number of reasons. It could be pantry, it could be housing, it could be schools. I go above and beyond. I go on the internet and try to get as much information I can for them. I have an example of a family that came here from Florida. She packed her kids, her family, sold her her trailer, came here, someone directed her to MLK. She didn't know what to do. Her biggest concern out of everything was trying to get her kids into school because she felt she was going to be in trouble. Me, I get on the phone, I get on the internet, I just try to find as much resources as I can to give to that woman to make her leave here knowing that somebody in this community helped her.
Really to affect change in the life of others, to make improvement in the spirits of the families of the people we serve in our community.
I like to call myself the middleman, or woman, I should say. And what that means to me is there are so many residents and community folks that don't know where to go for services, don't know where to go for certain things. So you're talking a range from gun violence prevention, all the way down to food insecurity. And what you don't know is, what you don't know. So I love to call myself that middle, that messenger, that person on the front line of the community that can say, I can help you with this if no one else is helping you with this.
We have a lot of emails that come through as far as a lot of free courses that are offered. Like one of ours is the Clemente program at MLK Family Services, which is a free education college courses. We have many CNA programs that come out, construction. There's a lot of free services out here and courses that a lot of the clients are not able to get on their own. So we're part of the reason why a lot of our clients get that information.
Springfield is such an amazing place, and I believe that the people make the environment. So I would just love to see us be that beloved community and, be partnerships to one another, be allies to one another, regardless of field of field of work, of occupation, whatever you're doing. I would just love to see us all come together, for the greater good of the whole city.
Because I have other engagements, I don't have a tradition of being brief all the time. I'm a Baptist preacher, and we can talk a long time. But I'm going to really be brief today.
How y'all doing today? My name is Lorenzo Lugo de Jesus. I'm 20 years old, and as a young voter, I feel a sense of responsibility to vote for somebody who will both represent me, my values, my ideas, and benefit my community as a whole. I urge all youth to decide their own futures. Get out to the polls, go vote, learn about the candidates, and make sure you make the right decisions for yourself, your families, and our communities.
My name is Joyce Davis, and I am retired. I feel good going into the polls. I work in the polls for a number of years, but it's nice to know to do what we want to do, go when we want to, vote for who we want to, and not being harassed. Our forefathers died to give us the right to vote. So I vote every time. The importance of your vote is that it tells you, and you have how part, and how the country is run, how the state is run, how the city is run, and the things that you would like to see come in and out. But if you don't vote, you can't say you do anything about it. But this way you can. I am a grandmother, a mother, a grandmother, great-grandmother, and I want my children to realize that the community is something they need to be a part of because I serve on several committees. I sit on the board of MLK Center, Martin Luther King Jr. Center, and I am also an elder in the church which has established the Martin Luther King Center, Martin Luther King Jr. Community Presbyterian Church. I am an elder, an active elder there. I also sit on the Committee of Mass Senior Action, all the seniors in the community, as you have heard or maybe not, that we're moving things and trying to get things together for everybody to be comfortable and know what's going on around them. I am a foster grandparent in the community for the Urban League, and I'm involved very much in this community. Martin Luther King was a flagship for us all. And yes, he's reminded us, his memory has reminded us that we have to vote in order to get freedom of vote and keep the freedom of vote, get some things we need for our children to step up and get their education and the things they need for their children. We need a lot of things, and voting is the only way we're going to get it if we don't stand together and vote.
I'm Shavina Martin, Deputy Election Commissioner for the City of Springfield. The Springfield Board of Election administers all state, federal elections, including early voting. We register all citizens or residents of the City of Springfield to vote, and we process their any voter registration changes. We also oversee 40 polling locations, which contain 64 precincts. We recruit, hire, train, and pay 400 poll workers to work on Election Day. We maintain and update our statewide voter registration information system database. We also conduct the annual city street listing. We process all nomination papers for candidates running for office. We process initiative petitions for state ballot questions. We assist the City Springfield Retirement Board in their elections. People can register to vote in person, by mail, or online at the Secretary of State's website. We continue our ongoing partnership with the Springfield Public Schools, Springfield Public Libraries, and local organizations to provide voter outreach and education with the goal of increasing voter participation with a focus on our historically low voter turnout areas in the city. Regularly, we attend naturalization ceremonies to register new citizens to vote. We provide proof of City of Springfield residency letters to constituents seeking employment, housing, healthcare, or financial assistance. Constituents can also email us directly at elections@springfieldcityhall.com. Constituents can also update their voter registration or register to vote online at the Secretary of State's website, which is www.sec.ma.us/OVR.
I want to ask you a question, and that is, what is in your life's blueprint?
I'm Dr. Michelle McComb. I'm an underwriter for Mass Mutual Insurance Company. I'm also a volunteer mentor with the Hampton County Sheriff's Department, All-Inclusive Support Services, and I'm on the Community Accountability Board for Springfield. My experience as a student in the Community course has been something that was eye-opening for me. I had never been very interested in touring museums or in history, but the way that the course was taught, the things that I learned, and the experiences that I gained were very valuable to me in my life, and they helped change a lot of the things and behaviors that I actually do. I found out about the program through a friend of mine who had enrolled in it. I had never heard of it before, and she began to explain to me what it was and told me to look up Clementi, to Google it and read some information about it and how President Obama at the time was supporting the program. I decided to go in with her. She asked me if I would partner with her to join, and I did, and I went in, and for me, it was an experience that I wanted to have to go back to college because I had been working on my bachelor's degree and I hadn't finished, and I was nervous about returning to school. So I said, I'll use this as a test to see if I'm ready to go back to school. I decided to pursue it to complete my education. I wanted to complete a bachelor's degree that I had started in human services through Springfield College. And due to the passing of both of my parents within 2 months of one another, I just never finished. I needed 9 more credits to graduate. Had taken off over a year to deal with grief and family issues. And I just didn't feel like I was ready to go back. I wasn't certain that I would have that dedication to sit down and actually study and turn off the television and stop running around. So I wanted to pursue Clemente as a test pattern to see, could I dedicate myself to schoolwork again. For others, I am currently volunteering with the Hampton County Sheriff's Department through the All-Inclusive Support Services, and I'm a volunteer mentor. I have been doing that for 12 years now. I meet with women that are currently incarcerated, some that have been released from jail, and also people in the community to try to encourage them to pursue further education, to help them look for jobs, to support them, to let them know that society is a welcoming place for you and that everyone has a story to tell and that it's important to let your story be known. The impact that the program has had on my life has been very significant. It has reshaped me as a person. And I had always been a person that cared about giving back to the community. However, ever since I took the Clemente course, I have been more of a change agent. Um, for example, I'm currently working with the faith-based um, Health Alliance and with young doctors from Bay State, and we're working on how to help the community better be able to relate to the doctors and the doctors to relate to the community, dealing with the different nationalities and ethnicities within our Springfield community, being able to talk to one another and understand the needs of the people instead of talking at them, talk with them. And that was something that I learned in Clemente, listening and being able to share and help people and understanding one another. And doing that, those things, we can grow as a people. For others looking to apply to the program, I would say do it. You have nothing to lose. It costs you nothing except for your time. And time is one of the most valuable things that we do have on this earth. But what you learn, the knowledge that you gain, no one can take that from you. So if you have the opportunity to enroll in a Clemente course, enroll in it and open up your horizons.
This is a poem of appreciation, some words of eternal gratitude, some thankfulness in rhyme and meter. This is a poem specifically for the unnoticed, the ones whose efforts will go unacknowledged, the nameless heroes, the ones with no award on the mantle, no medals of honor, no quotes in publications. They are not pictured in photographs. They are not even footnotes in history. They exist and do the work. Their little lights lit candles and lanterns that illuminated paths and warmed up torches. Things got burned down because of their flames. This is for the ones who were told life is not fair and began to conceive an existence where we didn't have to prepare children for dismal futures. This is for a modicum of faith that allowed audacious imagination. This is for soldiers who fought and took their last breath before victory could be claimed, who never had an opportunity to celebrate the spoils of the battle, the ones who chose anonymity, and the ones who just weren't important enough to mention by name. Or maybe their mistakes rang too loud and drowned out the noise from the mission. This is a poem for the aunties who watched the children so their parents could set the world on fire. They couldn't have done it without you. This is for the ones who packed lunches or spoke life into strangers who desperately needed a word of encouragement. This is for the ones who do good for goodness sake. This is for the dedicated souls who opted to forego sleep and remained locked in their prayer closet, supplicating to the Almighty on our behalf. If this is you, this is for you. You matter so much to me. You cut down all the tall trees, dug up the dry, rotted roots, cleared out the thicket, turned the soil. You were sun up to sundown, tending to the field, praying over a harvest you might not live to reap, but you continued to sow. There were predators, wild, godless animals, and treacherous distractions, but you remained. You made it easier for us. Maybe this poem will have to travel to the realm of the ancestors to reach its intended recipient. I hope it finds you settled and satisfied. May every descendant in your bloodline have favor. May they experience the earthly ease and celebration you didn't get to reach, and if it's not too late, and you are still here, tending to your assignment, may you be encouraged. May you be full. May you feel loved and seen. Your work is so necessary. You are so necessary. Forgive us for every time we walked on a spotless floor or admired a perfect garden and did not ponder whose hands made it possible. And maybe you don't need the pomp and circumstance. Perhaps you would prefer to move quietly in the night. Everyone doesn't thrive on spotlight and compliment. May you be secure in knowing your efforts are not in vain. May we pick up where you left off. Thank you for making it easier for us. You are a quiet blessing. I am so thankful you were here.
And crucial period of your lives, for what you do now and what you decide now at this age may well determine which way your life shall go.
I describe public health as a social justice movement rooted in science. The science is the data that we use every day to make decisions in order to keep our communities healthy. There is an African proverb that says, when spider webs unite, we can tie up a lion. The lion is poverty. The lion is health status indices that we see every day in our community. Most of the organizations in this room work with vulnerable and underserved populations. You are the glue that hold our public health community together. COVID-19 has devastated the public health community. It was a virus that we did not anticipate. However, our public health system held. And it held because of the partnerships with the people that we have in this room. Each of us took on a role and made sure our community was supported. COVID-19 is not over. We are still experiencing new variants. I anticipate we're going to continue to experience new variants. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. And hopefully we will all finish together by doing the things that we've tried to talk about throughout the pandemic. Washing your hands, watching your distance, get vaccinated, get boosted. Those are the things we asked you to do. However, COVID-19 is only one of the public health challenges that we face. We think about substance use disorders, the opioid crisis. We still deal with infant mortality and unintended pregnancies amongst teens. There is cardiovascular disease, and of course, we worry about the environment and environmental health. That great poet laureate, Gwendolyn Brooks, says, "You and I are each other's magnitude and bond. We are the healers, the leaders, and the teachers that we have been waiting for." And so my message today is to continue to create those important partnerships, continue to work together to strengthen our public health infrastructure, because it is that infrastructure that will sustain us and see us through. We must continue to advocate, legislate, and agitate. And by that I mean, let's continue to educate each other. Let's continue to give credible information to our constituents as well as our family. Legislate. It's important that we have policies that give us educational opportunities and economic opportunities and sound public health practice. And then agitate and advocate. That is, sometimes we have to make individuals feel uncomfortable in order to get our work done. And each one of you continue to do that. The late Ron Johnson, who we all miss and celebrate today, was one of those individuals who really understood the value of partnership, understood the value of assuring that our community works together. He is missed, but he left us with a charge. And a part of that charge has to do with this social justice movement rooted in science called public health. Thank you.
The current COVID pandemic has wreaked havoc across the world. And importantly, it has been really horrible for the United States of America. Disproportionately, African Americans and people of color have been affected by this disease. And one of the things that has most affected us is misinformation. One of the things we might not know is that this infection not only causes problems immediately, but can lead to what is now known commonly as long COVID. Long COVID exists because this virus not only infects the lung, but it can infect a vast array of organs that have what we call the ACE2 receptor that the virus binds to. These include the eyes, the nostrils, the liver, the lungs, the kidneys, and even the pancreas. And when the virus has an opportunity to spend a long time in these organs, it leads to significant damage. This has resulted in fatigue, in mental health issues, in people having trouble breathing, even months to at least a year after the virus has already gone out of their system. The lungs are the primary site of infection. And when that happens, when you look at the combination of your normal lung and your COVID lung, you'll see a lot of infiltration of mucus, those white patches that one sees in an image of the lung. And that means it's hard to exchange oxygen. But what people didn't know until recently, when high intensity imaging came about, is that COVID actually damages the blood vessels in the lungs. And it damages the alveoli. These are the air sacs that are used to exchange oxygen in the lung. And that now leads to existential problems where people have problems breathing over long periods of time and can't even climb a stairwell in the way they used to. COVID also leads to gangrene because it creates clots and blocks the blood vessels that now lead to oxygen not reaching these extremities. And those extremities now become cyanotic, blue, they lose the blood flow, and as a result of that, sometimes they have to be amputated. In addition, one of the most significant things for people of color is that we already are disproportionately affected by type 2 diabetes. And COVID-infected individuals have a 40% increased risk of having post-COVID diabetes. The reason for that is that the virus directly infects the cells, the beta cells in the pancreas that produce insulin. And they destroy these cells. And when these cells are no longer there to produce insulin, diabetes is the result. COVID also leads to brain issues. We know that people have memory issues, and a recent research actually shows that there's a decrease in the size of the brain that is equivalent to a 10-year decrease with aging over just 1 year of being COVID infected. Individuals with COVID also has ringing in the ear or tinnitus that can last an extended period of time. This is another symptom of long COVID. In fact, there have been cases where people have committed suicide because this ringing in their ear was so much. People who have COVID, especially those who end up in the ICU, are prone to having strokes within a couple of weeks after getting COVID. And also COVID leads to increased risk of heart disease. We're seeing this even in individuals who were not hospitalized. Individuals who had mild to moderate COVID still had an increased risk of having heart disease after having COVID. And for men who worry about erectile dysfunction, we now know that the virus is able to infect the cells in the testes. And as a result of that, we're seeing lower sperm counts as well as ED, erectile dysfunction, in men. Overall, COVID is a terrible disease, and long COVID might be with us much longer than we want to admit. So the approach then is to actually use the Swiss cheese model. This Swiss cheese model says that no one intervention is going to be good to prevent COVID. So we wear a mask when the numbers of viruses are high in our community. We put on a mask in crowded areas. We make sure that we avoid indoor areas that are crowded, and we also try to make sure that we get vaccinated. When we combine these things with washing our hands and getting vaccinated, that will help us to be able to make it through this pandemic without having these terrible long-term effects that can come from COVID. I thank you.
God bless our volunteers. We usually arrive in the morning between 3:30 and 3:45. You know, we have to do what we have to do. And taking care of each other is what we have to do.
My name is Jose Ramos, and I go by Cheo here at the food bank. I am the food distribution supervisor. I have been here for over 20 years. We all need support to get by, you know. If I didn't get the support of my parents, I wouldn't get by. We all need some kind of a support system, and if the support system is a food pantry, that's your support system. We don't know when we're gonna be in that situation.
My husband passed away in 2005, and he had cancer, but he only lived about 6 months after he was diagnosed with cancer, so that was difficult. It was a difficult time for me. It was a difficult time for my son. I've been working well, not my whole life, but I've been working ever since I've been a young adult. But when my husband passed away, I had to pick up a second job because our income wasn't what it used to be, and we owned a home, so there was a lot of bills. So we were able to maintain that through me working those 2 jobs.
Hunger is a symptom caused by an array of inequities in our society, and our role is to provide healthy food to soften the blow so that families can meet their other financial and economic needs.
From 2005 through 2019, I had worked 2 jobs. And I was really just so exhausted. I had no time for myself, for my family. And so I ended up leaving one of those jobs for the sake of my quality of life. I had to take a reduction in pay, but at that point, it was worth it to me to even take that reduction in pay.
People may not know that the food bank distributes vast quantities of healthy food, much of it grown in the Pioneer Valley and on this farm. The Food Bank of Western Massachusetts was the first food bank in the country to purchase a farm. More than 3 million pounds of vegetables is distributed through the food bank every year.
When I walked into the food bank, that year, I think we hit 2 million pounds. In 20 years, I have not seen it go down. It's right now over 12 million pounds distributed, and that was last year.
My name is Vinny Arriaga. I'm a truck driver for the food bank. We distribute food to, people who are in need right now. What I love about the mobile food bank is just seeing the faces of people when you end up providing food for them. You're giving them a $40, $50 box of food, and then them knowing that they have food on the table for that day or whatever it be that week because of the food that you gave them.
So now I work a part-time job for a young lady that is blind. Every month we go to the mobile food bank to get food. She gets hers, and I can also get that food from there as well. That was a blessing for me to have that extra food. Just one more thing I did not have to buy at the supermarket. And I started seeing a difference because I was able to save more.
Our role is similar to that of a grocery store. The difference is there's no cash register. I think my job kind of is to hustle food. And I want to make sure that everybody that comes in here that says they need something walks away with something. The food bank supplies us with the bulk of the food that we distribute. In this community, we need healthy foods. And that's one good thing about the mobile pantry coming in now, because they could get more fresh fruits and vegetables.
After a while, we would come in here. Someone said to me, because they knew my situation, Sharon, why don't you come and volunteer with us? I've met so many people. And so I have that social outlet. I have the extra food. I'm saving more money. I reflect, and I'm grateful.
Within this program, it would not function without the volunteers. We owe everything to the help they provide. Some of our pantry shoppers, they will come in early in the morning and they'll give us a hand setting up. It becomes like family after a while. You get to know each other, and it's like everyone trying to help out, you know? And that's a good thing.
Our mission is to feed our neighbors in need and lead the community to end hunger. Our vision is a Western Massachusetts where no one goes hungry and everyone has access to nutritious food.
I like for people to feel comfortable when they come here, and to know that any of us could be in a situation where we have to go to a food bank, and it's okay, and we ought to be able to eat. You know, no one should have to go hungry. It puts more money in my bank account. It helps me to be able to help my son. It helps me to be able to pay my bills. You know, it's for anybody that has a need, because we all need to be able to eat.
I can affect change in my community by being a positive role model for kids younger than me and others.
I can affect change in my community by encouraging others to do right and respecting others.
I can affect change in my community by recycling and picking up litter.
I am encouraging others, respecting others, and being positive to others.
I am helping others with anything they need.
What I'm doing for others is lifting them up like my friends and family.
Social justice means to intervene on others' behalf to create change.
I think social justice is where everyone is treated fairly and equally.
Social justice means everybody has the same opportunities and privileges.
We are the beloved community!
Hello again. Hope you've been inspired by those we've recognized and honored thus far. With all that is going on in the world, our country, and here in the city of Springfield, it is time to take a stand for justice and inclusivity. Dr. King once stated that somewhere we must come to see that human progress never rolls on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and the persistent work of dedicated individuals. Without this hard work, time becomes an ally of the primitive forces of social stagnation. So we must help time realize that the time is always right to do what is right. While there are many award ceremonies, there is only one award ceremony that celebrates the keepers of the dream. So again, I thank you so much for being here in our virtual awards program today. Now, in addition to celebrating our keepers of the dream, those that are doing for others, we are here today to also ensure that this organization can continue its mission of providing educational and family support services, including food, to thousands in our community every year. So I do ask that you consider making a donation to the Martin Luther King Jr. Family Services. This year, we have made it simple to do so. On your screen will appear a QR code. Go ahead and get your phones out. Let me get mine out. Click on your camera and focus on that QR code. That code will take you to our website, mlkjuniorfamilyservices.org. From there, you will see there are multiple opportunities for you to give. You can give by check, you can give online by using a credit card, or you can Cash App. If you are unable to access our website, go ahead and call us, 413-746-3655, and we'll gladly take your donation over the phone. Thank you. And thank you for assisting us in helping this organization do what's right for the city of Springfield.
Michael Weeks is President and CEO of Providers Council, the state's largest membership association of community-based health and human services organizations. As a thought leader and advocate for the human services sector, he also directs the Council's public policy, research, advocacy, education, and member benefits programs and initiatives. He leads the Council's affiliated organization, the Human Services Providers Charitable Foundation, working to expand the sector's learning opportunities, registering voters, and encouraging civic participation. Michael previously worked as Deputy Commissioner at the State Department of Social Services and had managerial roles at the Center for Human Development. He holds degrees and a leadership certificate from American International College, Go Jackets, University of Connecticut, and Harvard University's JFK School of Government. He is a recipient of numerous awards, including from the National Association of Social Workers of Massachusetts, the Massachusetts Nonprofit Network, and the Massachusetts Council of Human Service Providers. Michael collaborated as a founding member of both the National Nonprofit Vote and the Massachusetts Nonprofit Network. He has served as a trustee or member of the board of King Boston, American International College, the United Way of the Pioneer Valley, just to name a few. Michael has served as adjunct faculty as well at schools of social work, including at Simmons College and Western New England University. Michael also co-leads the Coalition to Preserve Nonprofit Services and a multi-sector human services reform initiative called The Collaborative with other trade organizations. He is a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated and the Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. MLK Jr. Family Services supporters, friends, and our beloved community, please welcome to our stage President and CEO of the Massachusetts Council of Human Service Providers, better known as Providers Council, Michael D. Week.
Hello, friends, colleagues, and other supporters of the Martin Luther King Family Center Social Justice Awards. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? It's what King once said to an audience in Montgomery, Alabama in 1957. It is the theme of this year's awards. First, thank you, Darren James, for that very nice and generous introduction. It was well received, just as the Martin Luther King Family Center is and has been for the people of this greater Springfield community since 1977. I also thank Dr. Calvin Hill, Board President of the MLK Family Services Center, and their Social Justice Committee for extending to me this tremendous honor of being able to share some thoughts with you today. Your collective leadership and service to this community has been spot on, ever-evolving, and responsive. I also want to thank the staff and volunteers who have tirelessly and faithfully given of themselves in thoughts, words, and actions for the betterment of the children, families, and individuals in Greater Springfield. Their lives are enriched by the actions of these essential workers. They may not wear uniforms like our police, firefighters, nurses, and others, but they are nevertheless essential to this community's life. I recall when the MLK Gymnasium was built, there was much celebration that children and youth in this area now had a new state-of-the-art facility for physical education and recreation activities. Little did they know that the gym was just a foundation of what would evolve into a beacon of hope, an oasis of nurturance, and an anchor for opportunity. As it helped thousands of people facing hunger with needed nutrition, assisted those with intellectual and physical disabilities, received critical services, tutored children with after-school needs, and developed aspirations within our young people to attend a historically black college and university. All are just a few of his attributes. These services transcended the basketball court and provided boundless community support that is only limited by its financial resources. I join you today on behalf of the state's largest association of community-based health and human services organizations, the Providers Council. Over 200 organizations are council members, and they are committed to meeting the needs of our state's most vulnerable populations with services for people with an intellectual or physical disability, with mental health and or substance use disorders, those experiencing hunger, homelessness, health issues, or others needing protection, nurturance, or support. The center is a longtime member of the council. Ronn Johnson, your esteemed leader who has left too soon, was elected to the statewide board of directors 6 years ago and served with distinction as an advocate for social justice and a provider of hope, guidance, support, and you know with Ronn, always with love. I also come to you as a member of the Beta Sigma Boule, a chapter of the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, which is the oldest Black Greek letter organization, founded in 1904. Both Ron and I were chosen for membership in 2010, and he again exemplified excellent leadership, serving in various capacities with our initiatives in social action, membership, and as its highest ranking officer, the Sire Archon. And lastly, and perhaps the most significant, I come to you as a friend and admirer of Ron Johnson. Our friendship dates back more than 3 decades when he was introduced to me by his lovely and devoted wife, Donna Johnson. You know the saying, behind every great man, there's a great woman. Well, this is besides this great man is a great woman. And they were jointly recognized with the prestigious Pension Award in 2015. They were already building a beautiful family and life that provides the foundation for their legacy of achievement, again, answering the call to the question, what are you doing for others? And one of the many accomplishments of the Johnsons was founding the Brianna Fund for Children with Physical Disabilities. They knew from personal experiences how financially challenging it could be for a child with a physical disability to reach their full potential and shine with their ability. So they selflessly established a fund with the wide community support to help families less fortunate than themselves. They answered the question, what are you doing for others? And through their actions, they not only provided hope and opportunity, but they also inspired many of us to not just look at ourselves, but to ask ourselves the very same question. History tells us the MLK Family Center started in the community 45 years ago as a fellowship house, then progressed and developed to its position as a community anchor that remains essential to the health, caring, and spiritual growth of the entire community. Even as the community demographics changed, it remains a beacon of hope, regardless of one's skin tone or native tongue. Family Services, through its leaders that included among the many the Reverend Ron Peters, Donna Ivy, Dora Robinson, and of late Ron Johnson, helped all as it envisions a world that resembles the profound words of the former Emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, on true social justice, when he said, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. Frankly, I cannot express enough gratitude in words for this center's historic service. And as I say that, I can almost literally hear Ron Johnson's voice saying to me, that's okay, Michael. You can always express more gratitude in deeds, and certainly with contributions. You see, when it came to the MLK Center, Ron was virtually all in. So let me get this out of the way for you. I, like many of you, truly miss Ron Johnson and loved what he did for this community every day and in many ways responding to life's most persistent and urgent question, what are you doing for others? You know, MLK Family Services recognize that there are many champions in the community, and while I honored Ron Johnson in an editorial as a person having a life well lived, his life was unfortunately far too short. Today, we are very blessed that MLK Center recognizes several remarkable individuals who are committed to social justice and have answered the question with more than their words and, more importantly, their deeds. So today, we are inspired by the accomplishments of those in these 8 award categories. Each singularly and or in a group have demonstrated actions and leadership well deserving of these social justice honors. And to bring them, I bring congratulations from the Providers Council and the Beta Sigma Boule. And please join me in saluting these awardees. Bishop Talbot Swan II for race relations, for his consummate community activism and as a messenger of God's work. Eileen McCafferty for arts and culture, for bringing the community music school to new heights, enriching the lives of young people. Barbara Gresham for education, a true advocate for quality education in Springfield's public schools. Kevin Lynn for economic development, helping to raise the standard of living in this community. Doris Harris for health advocacy, host of WTCC's Health Matters and promoting health equity. Julius Lewis and Thomas Morrow for entrepreneurship, increasing financial knowledge and improving well-being in the community. Social justice team for the First Church of Christ Longmeadow for faith-based initiatives, advocating against racism, gun violence, and anti-Asian hate, to name a few. And last but not at all least in my household, a gentleman who was first known in my family as Uncle Brian, who also stands in honor and grace with his wife, Aunt Marguerite, but you know him better as Bishop Brian Robinson Jr., with a Lifetime Achievement Award. From a school principal to police commissioner to superintendency to a bishop with over 60 years of pastorship plus more. Please join me in giving a big Zoom-style applause to the awardees and our special honoree, Ron Johnson. All of them have embraced the ideas of faith, brotherhood, love, and leadership as described by Dr. King. In the brief time I have with you today, I'd like to share just 3 virtues among several that are applicable, that I've observed as common and sacrosanct in the character of those who have ascended in their service for social justice, those who have dedicated their lives' work to equity and opportunity, courage, leadership, and initiative. Our sister Maya Angelou said, "Courage is the most important of all virtues because without it, one cannot practice any other virtue with consistency." Courage, let's face it. Virtually all of us have had moments of self-doubt, wondering, are you doing the right thing at the right time? What if you fail or success quickly evades you? What if someone won't like you? Perhaps what we truly need is the courage to accept that we won't be perfect, but we don't have to be. Nor do we need to please everyone all the time, and thinking so will lead you immobilized with fear and succumbed with self-doubt. So when you climb the ladder of progress, you may not know what's at the top or what the view may reveal. You know the story of David challenging King Saul and his fellow soldiers who were worried and doubted that they could not defeat the Philistines, and in particular Goliath. They were intimidated and stuck. David, overmatched physically, but he had faith. He had a spiritual strength and conviction with courage that outmatched the giant. And with 3 stones, he brought his enemy to defeat and therefore was bestowed with leadership authority because of courage. Leadership. My second observation is the virtue of leadership, to not only embrace leadership, but to exercise it. You don't have to be appointed, anointed, or elected a leader to exercise leadership. You see, leadership doesn't need to be attributed to someone with a certain position or title, though often it is recognized as such, but it's the exercise of activities to mobilize people to tackle challenging problems. You don't necessarily need to have formal authority. Dr. King, often described with great leadership, didn't necessarily have a formal position or certainly a title called the leader of civil rights and justice. However, even from the pulpit, he spoke truth to power and created an environment in which others were mobilized to take action. His leadership transcended the walls of the church and, in fact, those of different faiths, race, colors, and nationalities. You, my friends, may be in a position with courage, conviction, and a moral compass on the well-being of this community to exercise leadership. It doesn't matter if you're at the foot of the table or at the side or the head of the table. Social justice work is for all of us to pursue and to exercise our leadership, regardless of what you think is your station in life. My third observation is the virtue of initiative that is also likely common of all the people we are honoring here, along with their courage and exercising leadership. Initiative. It's common for all of us to face challenges to our courage and leadership and face setbacks and disappointments. If anyone with accomplishments tells you they haven't had to persevere through adversity, they should write a book about it. Initiative is often a companion virtue of courage and leadership. Too many times, we let our failures prevent us from starting something new, pursuing other dreams, or just being our best. One of the quotes that I often lean on is from another fellow brother of Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, like Martin Luther King Jr. His name is Arthur Ashe. Brother Ashe, with his worldwide achievements in tennis, exhibited leadership and courage in civil rights, the anti-apartheid movement, fighting AIDS, gender inequality, all for social justice. He left us with a clear message that I hold dear. He said, "Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can." His message is the bedrock of initiative. It's about understanding, as Dr. King said, that the time is always right to do what is right. Initiative is also about what President Obama said so eloquently. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change we seek. So, my friends, I thank you for this very special time and honored to share with you my thoughts on the 3 virtues to pass on, and I hope you might find them helpful. Let us salute all our incredible awardees and be inspired by their services. I hope their incredible success also serves as encouragement for you and yours. I also honor you for your enduring support of our youth, our families, and our community, and the MLK Center. Finally, I also want to thank my wonderful wife, Rod, my daughters, Aixa and Rikiel, and my son, Ariel, for their sacrifices and faith in me to do what I can do for others. Courage, leadership, and initiative. May you all be blessed and all be a blessing.
And whenever a building is constructed, you usually have an architect who draws a blueprint. And that blueprint serves as the pattern, as the guide.
My name is Talbert Swan. I am the pastor of the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ and the president of the Greater Springfield NAACP. We have a motto that is my mission, and that's building better tomorrows by changing lives today. So changing lives for the better is my goal and my mission. MLK Center has been part of my life from the time I was very young. I remember when it was first built and served as a hub for community activity for young people. And so, for many years, we've worked with MLK in terms of ensuring that our young people had a place to go, to thrive, to connect with other young people, to stay out of trouble, and to be empowered and inspired. The most impactful part of what I do is when I see people's lives change for the better. When I walk into a grocery store and a young lady is working there and she says, "Bishop Swann, you don't remember me, but I was a part of one of your youth programs. I'm now a student at such and such a college. I'm working here part-time, and something that happened while I was in your program turned the direction of my life." When I hear testimonies like that from young people, to know that in a profound way we have impacted their lives and they are on the path to being positive members of the community, of their families, of their churches, that's what gives my heart joy, knowing that we've been able to change the lives of people. Social justice means that everyone has a fair and equal opportunity to make a living, to seek their goals and endeavors, to be treated fairly, that things are equitable regardless of race, nationality, gender, or any defining factor in a person's life. Unfortunately, we live in a society that was set up to benefit and privilege a certain class of people and disenfranchise others. And it's embedded in the systems that exist in what Maya Angelou called these yet-to-be United States of America. And so for many years, people have been fighting to right the wrongs and to change those systems and to bring about an equitable and fair system that treats people justly and equally. The scripture that I live by, that I cherish, says that a prophet is without honor in his own home. And that is often borne out, that people are less recognized in areas which they live and serve. They're less appreciated than they may be in other places across the nation. I've had the wonderful privilege of being recognized on some national stages, most recently receiving the William Jones Award by the National Action Network, and being recognized by some high-profile national organizations. But there's nothing more satisfying than when you are recognized for the work that you do among the people that you live, work, and play with. And so to be recognized here in my hometown, in Springfield, by an organization that has been a beacon of hope in this city is humbling, and it really makes my heart glad to know that there are people here that have recognized the value that I have to this community and beyond. How the community can get involved in this mission is to take on the mantra that all politics are local, that everything that we go through here is nothing but a microcosm of what happens across the nation. And so people don't have to be on a large stage or platform, but they can get involved right where they are. They can join their neighborhood councils. They can get involved in parent groups in their children's schools. They can volunteer in their own neighborhoods. They can reach out to the young people within their sphere of influence, in their circle. Right where people are, they can make an impact that betters our society. And I believe it's the unsung heroes that every day are impacting the lives of people in a way that we are unaware of, that really are the ones that we should be honoring. So I encourage people to join your local grassroots organizations, to get involved in some way, shape, or form, because collectively we can all make a difference together.
Hi, I'm Eileen McCaffrey. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Music School of Springfield. And our mission is to provide an equitable and inclusive center of excellence in music education that empowers individuals, inspires creative passion, and is part of the well-being of the community. The Community Music School's relationship with MLK Family Services goes back many, many years. We are so fortunate that our board member, Ron Johnson, who served on the board of the Community Music School for over 25 years, when he took on the role of being the executive director and CEO of MLK Family Services, it happened to coincide at the same time as when I was asked to serve as the interim executive director. And I have to say that that organization has been my soul from the beginning. They have taught me what I need to know. They have lifted up the work of the Community Music School. They've partnered with us, gosh, from starting the whole Dr. King Day celebration and having this idea of what the community could experience, and then watching it happen and being in partnership with not just Ron, but his team, and really feeling the joy of those young people who get exposed to the arts. And so it's been a blessing and a journey, and the music school is greatly indebted to MLK Family Services for all of the beauty and growth that they've helped our organization achieve. Oh, the kids. Absolutely. We're so lucky. The music school gets to have a whole group through our preschool every day. These little mini 3 to 6-year-olds come up into our building, and they represent everything that everyone wants for the future of young people. The doorway that we open is the idea that the arts and arts integration can inform all kinds of, everyone has creativity in their souls, and what we do is we use that as the portal to let young people express themselves, and then to build relationships with caring adults who really care about bringing out that creative side. So from the preschool, which we get to do 5 days a week, to the over 1,200 students that we work with in the Springfield Public Schools as part of our Sonido Musica program, which has been incredible, the partnership in that school. To think of working with over 1,000 young people every week in the schools, doing strings and band, and that has just been a great joy of my life. And we have over 60 faculty that are involved in various ways. And you know, private lessons, giving young people a chance to express themselves and have trusted mentors who can bring them along, whether it's playing the harp or there's 33 instruments that we have at the music school. So I guess the best part is to just trust that when we provide these opportunities to our young people and do it in an environment of care and inclusiveness and of celebration of the individual identities of all of our young people, it just builds so much hope for the future. You know, we're part of that, and I think that feels really important. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. I would be weeping tears to dig into what it really feels like. But it's a big deal. It means a lot, especially this year. It's the Social Justice Awards make a statement for our community of what's important. What we think is important, what we think should be important. It roots and grounds principles of what the world should look like, and it celebrates those. And for the music school to be embraced in that way, to be seen for the efforts that we make, not the destination, but the efforts. Like, we work hard to try to do right and to build the world that we want to live in. And social justice is at the center of that. So when people that you respect and folks who had this award and are a club that we never imagined ourselves to be a part of, and then to be in that club, the social justice awardees and the honorees, it's a profound statement of solidarity. It also says to us, we've got a lot of work to do. And I can't think of a better group of people to be doing this work with than the folks. And I also just want to say my fellow awardees and all the folks who've come before, it's an incredible group of people, it's an incredible group of organizations, and we're deeply honored to be invited to be at the table with so many wonderful people doing such important work. We all know how important music is. It's a universal language. It knows no boundaries, and yet it connects with all of us in deep ways. It honors the past through our ancestors and people, our cultural identity, but it also moves us into the future around how does sound and music bring us together, and particularly at this time when we've been apart for so many years. So we try to be in many places and spaces that are unexpected, not just at 127 State Street in our building, but going out. When the pandemic hit, we were fortunate to be invited to perform at the food distribution sites at the different schools around, just as a way to celebrate the fact that we're in this together. So I would say just find us. We're in many places, but also invite us, because we love lifting up other folks' activities. We love being, and our faculty love being a part. We're part of the fabric of the community, but we're in a different place now of needing to be responsive to the deep need, particularly for our young people, to be seen and heard. And so I just would love for us all to be so connected that we just know that music lives everywhere, and that the music school is a trusted partner in lifting up the community in that way.
My name is Barbara Gresham, and what I do is I am a school committee member for 12 years. And my main mission is that I make sure that with the budget that we have no cuts in the classrooms, and also with the policy, our policy making efforts is to benefit the students most of all. My relationship with MLK is I've been a part of MLK. My children went there for activities, and also with Mr. Ronn Johnson, may he rest in peace, was such an advocate for the students of Springfield Public Schools. They always had the after-school program for our students, and we always made sure that our students had a way to get there and participate in the activities that they had for our students. So it was great relationship with MLK. The most impactful part of what I do is being an advocate for the church, for the students, and also for the families, to make sure that they had the resource and the tools that they need for their children to be a successful educational experience in our Springfield Public Schools. All the possibilities and all the resources that are available for them and all the tools that are available for them to be successful in their education. It incorporates the socialization of students, of families, of the community, and make sure that they have the resources available to them to be in the community and be a part of the community. What I'm doing for others is that I'm always available. I'm always willing to help others. From an educational standpoint, I'm always available for our students and our families to make sure that they have the resources that they need to reassure that their children will have a successful experience in our Springfield Public School arena. I'm honored to receive this award, and I really received this award on behalf of Ronn Johnson because he was such an icon in the community. He was always willing to help. He was always there when you needed him, and I'm just honored just to receive this award. The community can get involved in this mission as reaching out and wanting the help from the MLK Center. They're always there. They're always willing to help people in the community. And I believe helping people in the community build a stronger community for the people.
My name's Kevin Lynn. I work for Mass Hire Springfield Career Center. Our mission is to match job seekers and businesses. I've had a long relationship in terms of, with Ronn Johnson. I mean, Ronn was a member of our longtime member of our board of directors, so he was always involved with us. His sister, Joanne Miller, works at the Career Center, so we've always had a relationship with Ronn through the years, a long time, and whether it's working on projects or sometimes consulting, like on the resource room that MLK was working on a while back. We kind of communicate back and forth on different things, and it was formal, but yet it was casual, and it was kind of as needed. It was just a really nice feeling. It's helping families, because I think people tend to think of what we do as, for lack of a better phrase, as finding someone a job, and we don't really find anyone a job. We tell people, I don't really tell people, we show people how to find a job. We show them how to fish. And then when you put one person to work, oftentimes you're impacting a whole family. There's this whole group of people behind that individual that we may never see, but they're there. It means giving everyone a fair shake. I think, in this job, one thing that you learn quite quickly is, in our country, we always like to put a / American. You're an Italian American, you're an African American, you're a French American, right? And we always like to chop ourselves up kind of into different things. But it's like, I think we look at ourselves and accentuate the differences. But in our job, what you see is the remarkable amount of similarities that we all have. We all want and need basically the same things. And we see this demonstrated every day at the Career Center. People like to focus on the employment aspect of what we do, which is really our core mission. But it's really about teaching and giving people hope. That's really what we do. And you know, you see people come back to us when they land the job, and there's an aura around them. You know, they've succeeded. You know, they see a future for themselves. And that's really the reward that we get. It's not just the job. It doesn't really stop with the job. It's really about the future that these people see for themselves and they see for their family. Well, you know, it's our whole organization. It's not me per se. It's our whole organization. And, you know, I work with a lot of really great people. I mean, you know, May 1st, I've been working at the Career Center 22 years, which is amazing, because before I worked here, the longest I ever worked at a place was 3 years. And you see a lot in the 22 years, but you really see a lot of really great people that you work with, people that are really dedicated to what they do, who want to help their community, who want to help. You know, it's not just the job seekers, it's not just the businesses, but it's about the whole area and trying to make it better. And you'll be amazed at how people exhibit that. Oftentimes it's in very different, sometimes small ways, but like over time, these little small commitments end up being awfully big. We need to support our people better. You know, a career center can't lift up the whole community. You know, we need to invest in things like education. It starts with young people. You know, we need to invest in education, and we need to have people really help people, especially young people, be a success in education. I think one of the biggest hills that we have to climb is that we tell people, well, you need to retrain, you need to upgrade your skills. But if you have people who were never really a success in school or struggled or find education in general to be a struggle, you really have a tough time competing in today's economy, because we all have to reinvent ourselves constantly. You know, what we know today is probably not going to be of much use 10 years, 5 years from now, depending. You know, there's certain things are changing constantly, and we have to evolve with that. So I think that's a big thing, is education. And I think we also have to understand that we can't stay the same. You know, I graduated high school in 1979, and you know, when you graduate in high school, you would say, hey, I've done high school. Either I go to work or I go to college. And then if you went to college, okay, I've done college, now my education is done. That doesn't cut it anymore. We always have to invest in ourselves, and we always have to say, look, how can I do this better? Because as soon as you stop learning, you start getting left behind.
My name is Doris Harris. I'm a public health consultant, and my goal is to provide information for the community to help them make the best decisions that will lead to health well-being. My relationship with the MLK Community Center is one of, I serve on their board, the Health Advisory Board, where we meet on a regular basis monthly. So my mission with them is to provide them with information in terms of how the community can move forward with making good decisions regarding health care. The most impactful part is knowing that I have made a difference, knowing that I have helped the community move forward, also be engaged with their health. Social justice means equity. Social justice means that everyone is at the table. Everyone gets a fair start to be who they can be. I am the host of a radio show called Health Matters. I also write for a community newspaper called The Point of View, and I'm their health editor. I believe what I'm doing is providing them with information that they can take and they can learn and get more knowledge in terms of health. I am elated, I am happy, I am surprised. I really think that it's an honor that they recognize what I do for the community. And I just hope that I can continue moving forward with providing the community with the information that they need. The community can get involved by volunteering. They can contact the MLK Center to see what they can do. There is just so many opportunities there. So I think the first thing is to contact the MLK community, get involved, see what is there. There's a lot of different types of programs, so definitely just get involved and contact.
Hi, my name is Julius Lewis of JDL Financial. And my mission is to educate the community as much as possible when it comes to their financial needs.
And my name is Tom Morrow. I'm the owner of Metrocom Tax Services. My mission in the community is to provide financial information to all people that need financial counseling. My relationship with MLK, or Martin Luther King Community Center, is with the late Ronald Johnson. I had an opportunity to work on several projects within the community, and I'm thankful that I had an opportunity to work with him.
So my relationship with MLK is also with the late Ron Johnson, the president of MLK. I had an opportunity to also work with him as a client of mine and helping him with some financial matters, and also to present different workshops within the community when it comes to building their legacy and also protecting their assets. And Ron was a great friend and mentor to me within the community, in helping me be able to put me in position to do workshops to help others within the community, and giving them the information that they need to put themselves in a better place in life. Well, the most impactful thing that I feel that I do is deal more with education. What I find in the industry, specifically when it comes to insurance products, there's a lack of knowledge in there. You find a lot of sales agents, should I say, selling to consumers, but not really educating the consumers on what they have. Life insurance, as an example, is not the most sexiest investment. I find that a lot of people are not as interested in it because they're associated with end of life. However, it's one of the cornerstones, or should I say, foundations of any financial plan. And it's just a matter of enlightening people on the different strategies and benefits when it comes to having life insurance. But more importantly, understanding the contract that they really have. Because at the end of the day, what it becomes is a contract between you and the company itself. And being the middleman between that, what makes me different than a lot of agents that are out there is having an understanding of the fine print in that contract and making sure my clients are getting the best value for what they're purchasing and having understanding of what they have.
Well, probably the most important piece is having a good understanding of how the tax structure works. A lot of people, when it's tax time, what they have a tendency to do is they focus on what I'm going to get for a refund. My purpose is to educate you about maybe long-term planning when we sit down and we look at your finances each year. Maybe put a 1-year plan together, maybe a 3-year plan, and a 5-year plan, so that you can start structuring yourself so that you can take this opportunity to grow. That connectivity is important to me for my clients and myself, so that you have a good relationship so that you can take this information and grow. It's not just getting a refund. That's not important. It's getting the refund on your life so that you can project yourself so you can be positive in a lifetime. Well, the thing that we do for others, well, we volunteer time. I have worked with many church organizations, a lot of the social organizations in the community. And probably the most important thing was what we were doing prior to the pandemic. we were giving these workshops up at the Raymond Jordan Senior Community Center. What we were doing every other Friday, we were volunteering our time and coaching senior citizens about how do you live on fixed income. A lot of people don't even think about senior citizens. They once you turn maybe 60 or 70, put you out to the pasture. We don't think that's necessary. So what we try to do, volunteering our time every Friday, every other Friday, and we were doing this when the pandemic came along and put us out of business. And because the senior citizens are at risk, but we still have that inclination in us to do that. And we will continue to do that in the community. And in addition to doing that, on our radio show, we broadcast a lot of things about finances, and we address not only the senior citizens, but anybody that's interested in trying to figure out what they want to do in their life. That's what we're doing for the community.
Very humbled, especially in the company that we're associated with and giving this award with some of the fellow recipients. When I started, Tom mentioned about the radio show, something that I started over 15 years ago for the love of the passion of wanting to take everything that I've learned as a professional and give back. And it was just based upon, once again, my drive and interest in wanting to share and give back. Never did I thought that it would lead to something like this, or someone would take note of what we were doing. And I think that's the important thing. It's not about so much of what you do, but why you do it. And so it's great to be recognized. It feels good. But strong passion for, and always have, and will continue to do. And with mentors like Ronn Johnson that inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing and being recognized with this award, it's just another testimony to me that I am doing the right thing, and someone is, it is making a difference.
Well, the same thing, talking about the community things that we've done for the radio show. It was 16 years ago. Julius contacted me and said, "Hey, let's put a financial show together." I said, "No, I got too many other kind of things. I'm trying to raise my family, my kids, and trying to do that." He said, "No," but he said, "We have a lot that we possibly could give the community." And here we are, recipients of this award because of not only the radio show, but our entrepreneurship. We're both businessmen. We have our different businesses, insurance, accounting, financial kind of things. So to be a recipient of this award, I'm so proud that they took the two pieces, that connectivity. One is entrepreneurship. The other piece was just being recognized for volunteering stuff within the community. Business piece, entrepreneurship, and connecting all that together. That's what I'm proud of for being recognized by the community for this award.
It's about giving back. I think about giving back. I think about how do we help each other, right? To be the best that we can be, especially as a man of color in this country. We haven't always gotten a fair shake. Martin Luther King, one of his last testimonials or visions that he was trying to accomplish is looking at the economic side of things, not just the civil rights side of things, but it all flows together, right? When we think about Reconstruction and how we've been left behind in a lot of areas when it comes to that economic piece. So I take great pride in having that understanding from the economic piece and doing my share to help move us forward from a social justice, including that piece of it, the economic piece of it. So there's still a lot of work to do, so I'm glad to be a soldier on the battlefield and helping to move us forward and getting that piece more on an equal playing field.
Well, I can say, because I'm a little older than Julius, I lived through the Dr. Martin Luther King era. I was a kid at that time and heard this thing about some types of movements that were happening. I can go back to talking about Thurgood Marshall and the Brown versus Board of Education in Topeka, Kansas. That was the light that opened up these doors when you talk about the social justice system. It let us as young little black children go to the white schools. So we were there. We were there from the struggle. We were there when we went through the high school. We were there on April 4th, 1968 when Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. We were there when we had all the marches on Washington as little kids. So when we talk about social justice, we're looking at right now how the landscape has changed when we look at these figures and all these people that were before us and with us, and now the people that's coming now. We look at it even in our city, like the Ray Jordans, the landscaping, Jeannie Basses and them that were here, the Model City, Johnny Jackson them, that were in the community. The landscape has changed, and that landscape now becomes us for what we have come. It becomes you guys out there and the young people. So take this mantle and take that mantle and keep walking, because we walked for the past 60 some odd years. I'm still trying to walk right now, volunteering things into the community. Keep that in your mind. Keep that word I keep saying, connectivity. Connect to the people or your peers or your associates in the businesses. Keep that in mind. And if you do that, hey, this thing about social justice awards can not only be a social justice award, it can be an award for us as a race of people. That's what we want it to be.
Yes, my name is Mary Friedman. I'm the chair of the social justice team of First Church of Christ in Long Meadow. And our church's mission says we are embraced by the love of God in Christ. And our mission is to love and serve our world. We do that through our journey inward toward faith and knowledge, outward toward love and justice. So our team has done a lot with our inward journey. As a church that is predominantly a white suburban church, we have spent a lot of time over the years looking at our own white privilege through book and film discussions and many other experiences, so that we have a better knowledge of our own situation.
My big connection with MLK is Willette Johnson. I first met her at our Interfaith Coffee, which is held on Tuesday mornings. I have been so grateful for her ability to be open and sharing with us, and she was able to occasionally judge us a little bit without any kind of malice, and it has been really very worthwhile for me. She's also been involved in a couple of book studies with us. So she's done a great deal of educating of me in particular, but some of the members of the group.
We were seeking ways to be in relationship with people who are outside our tight circle of friends and acquaintances. And about 3 years ago, as a church, we joined the Pioneer Valley Project. And we've learned so much about community action and working side by side with our neighbors. We've worked on things such as participating in marches and vigils. We've worked on police reform in Springfield, supported an individual in sanctuary at the South Church. Those are some of the things that we've been involved with through our relationship with Pioneer Valley Project.
I think I speak for our team when I say that for us, social justice means gospel justice, that it isn't a matter of right or left. It's a matter of right or wrong. And, you know, we believe that Jesus had a way of turning things upside down in the social order. And that's what we want to live out, gospel justice.
I'm doing a number of things as part of my membership in the social justice team. The first thing was to educate myself so that I understood what social justice was and then could communicate that to other people. And so I took part in the reparations course called the Stolen Beam last fall, which, as Mary said, just opened my eyes to history that I had not been aware of, and which helped us in discussion to really dig down into what we needed to understand about the history of slavery in our country and the real need for reparations, so that we can then go out and talk to others about it. And we also, as a result and sort of in a wrap-up of the course, role-played how we would have those conversations, because obviously they're very difficult conversations for people who don't understand why they, in the year 2022, owe anything in terms of reparations for those whose ancestors were enslaved. So that was, I think, an important part for me to understand, to be able to then go out and communicate what I learned.
I'm very much involved in Long Meadow Anti-Racism Coalition. I'm one of the founders. We have organized standouts every Friday at the corner on Long Meadow Street by McNeely Field. We want people to realize that racism is unacceptable. This whole started with Black Lives Matter, but it means every life matters. Be it Asian hate, we don't want that either. There's a lot of bullying going on in the high school, and kids are suffering because of that. And we want that to stop. We want people to get along. I'm a strong believer in communicating between the white and the black culture. I spent time in Africa. I'm also involved in a famous schooner, which is being given by a country in Africa to the United States, and the official sailing vessel of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And it's a wonderful gift that was built in Massachusetts. So Massachusetts has a wonderful history of involvement with black people. And I've been very much involved in that also. And I want that to continue and just see that racism totally stops. We're also going to be starting supporting the Ukrainian issue. We want to support them. We want that war to stop. We don't want killings, women, children being hurt.
We're doing a number of programs to educate people about racism, and the programs are called Don't Stop, and I believe that's directed to us. Don't stop our activism and don't stop learning more things. One of the programs is going to focus on how our church has been involved with enslaved peoples, in that one of our prior ministers owned slaves, and there are also enslaved people buried in the graveyard that's right next door to our church. So we're going to look at that. We also have other book studies that are going around. And another thing that I've been involved in, and several members of the team have been involved in, is writing postcards for Rise Up Massachusetts, for Reclaim Our Vote. So these postcards go out to people in various states in the United States to encourage them to register to vote, to encourage them to take that responsibility seriously, and to know that their vote makes a difference. And we have seen that some of our past campaigns has made a difference in getting voters out.
We are thrilled, excited, overwhelmed. We had no idea. Any kind of adjective that you'd like to add that would be appropriate. We were thrilled. We had no idea this was going to happen. We were at a social justice team meeting, and we knew that there was going to be a guest from MLK, but we didn't know who it was going to be. And so when Ron Johnson showed up and with other guests, I went, wow, because I know Ron and he knew me. He was thrilled to see me, I was thrilled to see him, and everything just blossomed from there. And it was just a very exciting time. And we are thrilled. As I say, we had no idea, and we're very pleased and honored, and thank you for recognizing us.
Bishop Bryant Robinson, Jr., the son of the late Bishop Brian and Louise Robinson, Sr., was born January 21st, 1937, in Mentor City, Mississippi. His education began in Mobile, Alabama, and with the family's move to Springfield, Massachusetts, he continued his education in the Springfield public school systems. After graduation from high school, Bishop Robinson attended and graduated from Barrington College in 1965. He earned a Master's of Arts degree from American International College in 1971 and a Doctorate of Education in Educational Administration and Leadership from the University of Massachusetts Amherst in 1997. Bishop Robinson began his career as an elementary school teacher. Approximately 2 years later, he was appointed principal of the William N. D. Berry Elementary School. In 1982, he was appointed to the position of Assistant Superintendent of Schools Elementary Division. He was the first African American to serve at the superintendent level. In 1984, he became Deputy Superintendent of Schools, and in January of 1989, he was appointed Interim Superintendent of Schools. Following his retirement from the public school system, Bishop Bryant Robinson has served as Dean of Cambridge College, Springfield, Massachusetts. He also served as adjunct professor at Central Connecticut State University in New Britain, Connecticut. Bishop Robinson also served as a police commissioner for 11 years for the Police Department of Springfield, Massachusetts, under the leadership of his father and pastor, Bishop Robinson Sr. Bishop Robinson accepted Christ in 1954. He received the baptism of the Holy Spirit that same year and became a licensed minister in 1955. Bishop Robinson was ordained as an elder in the Church of God in Christ in 1961 by Bishop L.C. Young, Bishop of the Massachusetts First Jurisdiction. Bishop Robinson has served in a variety of positions such as State Choir Director, State Sunday School Superintendent, Jurisdictional Secretary, and Jurisdictional Chairman of Finance. Bishop Robinson was appointed to the pastorate of the Macedonia and First Church, Church of God in Christ, in Springfield and Fitchburg, Massachusetts, in the year 1985 and continues to serve faithfully today. In April 2002, he was consecrated and installed as the jurisdictional prelate of the Greater Massachusetts jurisdiction. Married since 1961, Bishop Brian Robinson and his wife Marguerite are the proud parents of 3 children, son Brian Robinson III, Renee Robinson Marshall, and Todd Robinson. They have 9 grandchildren. It is my honor and my privilege to present to you the recipient of the MLK Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Bishop Bryant Robinson, Jr.
When I see the vision coming into fruition, it communicates to me that there's efficacy in the endeavor. I guess what I'm trying to say there is that the goal, the intent of that strategy, that plan is being realized. So it reaffirms for me that we're moving in the right direction. Not only reaffirm, but it reinvigorates me, to continue. President Barack Obama, in my judgment, was consistent in his presidency to express or remind us that creating a more perfect, is it union? Creating a more perfect union. So in our country, when we consciously engage in conduct and behavior that recognizes the humanity of all mankind, womankind. Okay. Again, if I go back a little bit to Martin Luther King, recognizing folk on the strength of their character, not the color of their skin. And so, and I recognize that there will always be an imbalance. There's imperfection. But this period of time that we're in right now just accentuates the fact that we've got miles to go. But we've made some significant progress. But even today, when we look at the behavior, the conduct of particularly Republican leaders, senators and representatives in creating the false illusion that this last election was stolen from, and really embedded in that accusation is the fact that people of color were not honest in the voting process. So we've got to do something to correct it, which is a fabrication. Okay? It's a fabrication. And so what social justice is about, creating the opportunities where my vote, your vote counts. It's about creating for you, the potential candidate, to make your case. Don't gerrymander and buy. If you want to talk about stealing an election, some of the behavior that is and some of these laws that have been imposed by states indeed are designed to steal the election, to render the vote of people of color, black people, Asians, Hispanics, null and void. Okay? Reducing the number of polling places, telling people you can't, no one can bring you a bottle of water. They can't bring you a sandwich. You're standing in line for hours. Okay? So social justice is about creating the opportunity. And again, to go back, measuring people on the basis of their character. It's about creating a more perfect union. And we've got miles yet to travel. That's just one aspect of it. We talk about housing. We talk about criminal justice system. We talk, it permeates the whole of our environment. Been doing what I've been doing, trying to encourage all people, but particularly people of color, of the responsibility, even though the stage is, or the process is is not designed to facilitate our participation, all the more reason that we do what we have to do to be able to vote. That we endeavor to ascertain the level of honesty, integrity, and commitment on the part of potential candidates, holding them accountable. If I go back to education, which is at my core right now, the making sure that our children go to school to learn and to be there. I used to tell parents of DeBerry, you are welcome in this school. All we ask you to do is just follow the protocol. You come in, report to the office, and identify yourself. Boom. And my teachers were given to understand at any given moment, a parent can walk across the threshold of your classroom. Now, they're not going to hold a conference right there, but they're going to take a seat and observe and watch. Okay? And so I'm still trying to get that message out, even in across the jurisdiction, spiritual jurisdiction and physical jurisdiction that I have leadership, even in Macedonia, even the church in Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, where I pastor also. Same thing, same message, okay? To be involved, to be engaged in this. And nobody can do for us, and you and us, and for me, what I've got to do for myself. I'm still processing. I'm still processing. They caught me totally off guard. I was just engrossed in doing what I do. Okay, it's integral to me. You know, it's like my breathing. You know, and so I'm highly honored that it appears that some of what I did, and some of what I'm doing is recognized. And again, it's a bit earlier I had said, you know, it's reaching, it's connecting with people. And so, you know, I might inject here that in my own family, you know, if I can just blow my own horn a bit, God blessed us with 3 children, 2 boys and a daughter. And the uppermost in our nurturing them was, first of all, spiritual development. Come into a vital relationship with God through faith in His Son Jesus. And close on the heels of that is to be a good student, okay? To equip yourselves for opportunities that are there and opportunities that may appear. So my wife and I are very, you know, proud of their coming into adulthood. One is an attorney. The daughter's in the middle. She's in the health service industry and pursuing her master. In fact, I told her when she was beginning that journey, I said, you'll be a model for your children. When they see mama pursuing, advancing, credentialing, qualifying themselves for current opportunities and future opportunities. And then our last child is the son who is associate professor of history at UNLV in Las Vegas. And we're so excited about it. They model some of what I've shared with others, and I meet from time to time some of my former students. Of course, I don't recognize them now. But when they bring me to a consciousness to know they're doing well, you know. So I'm still processing the fact that someone takes note of some of the things I've attempted to do. And blessed to come into 85 and still managing to put one in front of the other. Nobody can do for us what we have to do for ourselves. So we know how the system works, or we have an idea how it works. And so that means, and if you don't know, you need to create the condition whereby you can understand how it works. And then you begin to participate, preparing yourself for it. So the notion of making sure your children, and it's especially true now given the impact of COVID-19 on the educational system, not just here in Springfield, but across the nation. So making certain that your children go to school prepared to learn. Make sure they are following through on any assignments. Make sure they're quality assignments. And to make them understand, I'm speaking now, I guess, to parents and to guardians, to those who are supervising children, make sure that they understand they are students now, not the teacher. If they do a good job being not just a student but a scholar, they may one day have their own classroom. They may one day be the principal of their own building. Okay. So it means that we equip ourselves to participate in the system. It means that we are supportive of those whose agenda is supporting equal opportunity for all people. We support, I urge that folk would be engaged in critical functions in their community. I encourage folk to be, here comes the other side of me, involved in the ministry of their church, to be an integral part of the church. As I've said to you before, urging our children to come into a vital relationship with God through faith in Jesus. And so every one of us, even if we didn't come the traditional way, we have the opportunity to move forward. My wife, when we got married, I hadn't finished my undergrad work, so we struck a pact. She would support me while I finished my undergrad work, which I did, and became a teacher in Springfield. And at the time appointed, then she was ready to go back. So she picked up, so she was not a traditional student. She was a mother and a wife, and she was involved in ministry, church ministry, but she went back. So it doesn't matter what your age is. Okay, that old model of 4 years of high school and 4 years of college and a year and a half to 2 years of master's, etc., it's fallen by the wayside. So I don't care where you are, where you left off. The days and the times in which we live require credentialing of ourselves.
Thank you so much for joining Martin Luther King Jr. Family Services in celebration of this year's Social Justice Award honorees and the legacy of Ronn Johnson. We hope you have been encouraged by what you've experienced today. Wishing you joy and good health, and until we meet again, what are you doing for others?